Hey everybody, Epic99 here today with some Destiny 2 tips and tricks. Beyond Light just came out about a week ago. Super exciting, really excellent new expansion for D2, and I wanted to take a moment this morning to share with you a Warlock build that I've been working on this week with all the new Beyond Light stuff that I think is just, it feels amazing. Like, it's exceptionally strong and kind of crazy, and honestly I'm surprised it's even like in the game because it seems like it's so overpowered. So I just wanted to kind of share this with you and get your thoughts on how your Warlocks are doing out there. So let's just run through this. Here, I'll load up some action. Head over to Europa. So I'm running of course, the Stasis Shadebinder build for Warlock. Here's my buddy right here for you to check out. So first, let's just run through the gear setup, and then, well, actually, we'll go through the class build out, and then I'll show you how the gear complements the class build out really well. So they've expanded the class loadouts so much in Destiny 2, it's kind of crazy, and it's amazing. So, like, once you've done the appropriate quests to earn the aspects and the fragments, that's really where your class loadouts start to go absolutely crazy. So right now I am running basic Shadebinder. Winter's Wrath, of course, is the super where you take out your ice staff and fly around freezing everybody and shattering them with RB. Healing Rift, Burst Glide. Penumbral Blast is my only choice for melee, but that's a really important part of this build out, so we'll come back to that later. I'm using the Cold Snap Grenade for the reason that it freezes targets the most quickly, and the freezing of the targets is the thing that's really key here. This loadout that I'm going to go over here really depends on always being able to freeze somebody and shatter them. My aspect, of course, the only aspect out now is the Ice Flare Bolts. This is what allows you to shatter a target and then send the freezing seekers to other targets that track them. So it's like you freeze someone, shatter them, and then a seeker of ice goes to another target, you shatter them, another seeker goes out. So it's really cool. And then for my fragments, this is where it gets really nuts. Now, by completing these 2 quests this week, you're able to choose from 6 different fragments. So I've selected 2 that I felt were going to be really useful. The third one that I'm hoping to get next week, when the quests are available again, is going to make this even more crazy. But for now, I've chosen Whisper of Shards and Whisper of Hedrons. And what this does is that with Whisper of Shards, when you stasis someone, just by shattering them, you basically get a boost to your grenade recharge rate. Which is great because, again, the point of this build is to freeze people as often as possible. And then as you shatter additional enemies, it increases the duration of that benefit. And then this thing is absolutely insane. Whisper of Hedrons. Gain a bonus to weapon damage after freezing a target with stasis. Just freezing them, not shattering them. As soon as you freeze somebody, you get a 10-second just general weapon damage buff. So just with that, the Shadebinder is crazy, just with those things. Now, add on top of that the gear setup, and you got something really insane. So first off, I highly recommend going and picking up Salvation's Grip. It's a great complement to all of this stuff because you can freeze people if your abilities are on cooldown with this, and you gain access again to all those buffs that I just described without having your grenade or your melee ready to go. So it's a nice backup, plus it's just a fun weapon to use. On my helmet, I've got Charge Harvester. So what that's going to do is when you're not charged with light, you get a chance of, when you kill an enemy or have an assist, there's a small chance to become charged with light. The point here is that you're trying to get charged with light as often as possible because this complements the high energy fire, which gives you weapon damage while you're charged with light, and that damage increases based on or excuse me, it consumes a stack of charged with light every time you defeat an enemy. So you're getting a buff to your damage while charged with light, but you're also losing that charge with light every time you defeat someone. To complement that, I've also got supercharged on my gloves, which allows me to have multiple stacks of charge with light, up to 5. I've got energy converter on my boots, which increases my when using my grenade attack, it grants me super energy while charged with light, so it's also helping my super recharge faster. And then I've got these 2 new artifact mods on my class item, which allows me to recharge grenade abilities whenever we disrupt somebody. So these are kind of outliers. These just kind of help get my abilities back more quickly to freeze people. But those are both really good to have as well. All of this stacks up to basically being able to be charged with light times 3, having the bonus damage from that, and then on top of that, the bonus damage from Whisper of Hedron. And what you end up with is an absolutely insane sort of like DPS setup, which I've found is just ridiculous. And the strategy here, the way you want to kind of consider doing this, remember, you'll lose that charged with light buff if you defeat an enemy. So the idea is stack your charged with light. Oh, I also have one I forgot to mention. I don't know where this is actually, but oh yeah, taking charge. Taking charge is also key because you become charged with light by picking up an orb of power. So if you have a masterworked weapon, you're generating those orbs of power all the time, and it should help you become charged with light as often as possible. So what this setup results in is some really crazy sort of like charge with light times 3 plus Whisper of Hedron's bonus damage buff, and then you're just doing absolutely crazy like single target damage on a boss, for example, because you're not killing the boss, you're just doing DPS on it, and you're having all that damage buff all at the same time. So let me go find a group of enemies and see if I can sort of show you how this works. Alright, so see, there goes my first charge with light, and then it went away because I defeated that guy, of course. We'll just hop down here to this area of Europa. There's usually some fallen and stuff roaming around here. Oh, the other exotic piece of this that I forgot to mention as well is I'm using the claws of Ahamkara, which give you an extra melee charge, which is great because, again, the point here is you always want to be able to freeze people. So if we freeze a guy, you notice we have 10-second damage buff, and it's just insane. Like, you're just going to be destroying stuff with that damage buff, and it lasts for 10 seconds. And then as you pick up orbs of light, you're getting charged with light too. So you're getting an extra damage buff and charged with light, and you're also refilling your grenade and your melee like nonstop. So you're just having this like sort of really fun cycle of just like crazy DPS output. So there's charged with light. I just need to find some more enemies. Alright, this should be good. Alright, so like watch this. So we'll run in here with the ice bolts, we'll freeze a guy, we'll shatter him. We're just like freezing everybody. Damage all over the place. Charge with light, and then with this charge with light and the damage buff, you're just like tearing guys apart. You're just like tearing everything apart. It's really fun, and it really is like, it adds an extra level of strategy and interestingness to the combat, which I love, and it just makes you feel super powerful. So I'm really excited to continue working on this build-out, this loadout. I'm hoping next week to get the third fragment, which is hopefully going to allow me to make my super charge faster, and then on top of that, I'm hoping to get this. As soon as I unlock this Berserker mod, I'm going to put that I'm going to replace one of these with this, and it's going to allow me to do extra bonus damage, another damage bonus buff when my super ends, depending on the number of enemies defeated with my super. So it's going to be even crazier next week when more of this stuff kind of gets unlocked. So it's a really awesome build. Let me know what you guys think. If you know, how are you doing with your Warlock builds? I'd love to know your thoughts. If there's anything that I can put in here to tweak this a little bit more, and it won't go away until it dies. And again, you want to, so I'm going to like maybe, oh, this guy's probably going to die by that shatter, but that's okay. I still have my charge light. So charge light times 2 plus that damage buff. And you can see like, I'm just ripping through these guys. Like, they're just dying so fast because the extra DPS is insane. Plus, Gnawing Hunger is still really, really good with Demolitionist this season. I haven't found anything that's better yet than Gnawing Hunger. I'm wondering if the new auto rifle will be good, but I don't know how to get that yet. So you can find somebody that's a little more powerful. Freeze him, damage buff, he just drops. And again, that damage, you get that just for freezing a guy. So like all you have to do is freeze somebody and you get that damage bonus, which is absolutely insane. So it's a really excellent build overall, and I would highly recommend trying it out for yourselves and see what you think. Let me know. Thank you so much, and catch you next time.